Aren't you about tired of listening to sports shows with all the woke bullshit? So are we. This is Patriot Sports Radio. Patriot Sports Radio. Fed up with the national talking heads and biases of mainstream sports media. If it's sports from the high school level to the pros, we're talking about it like the red-blooded Americans we are.
God bless America.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Let's do this. And now, here's Eric, Angela, John, Chris, and the coach.
Welcome back, my friends. Wake and Rake, dude. It's top of the morning. John's here. We got new guy Jamal here.
Good morning.
All kinds of stuff going on this morning.
Yeah.
We got multiple sports. I watched a little XFL last night. We had another good Saturday with the hockey. John Bones Jones fought last night. We'll talk about that. We'll introduce you to new guy Jamal, who's covering F1 for us. I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about F1, but I did see a pit stop where they changed 4 tires in 1.8 seconds. That can't be real.
Yeah, they do it. They work on it every day.
That is
Some of these guys go to sleep with tires in their hands.
that is wild. Like, I grew up in a NASCAR household. I watched many a pit stop where they're putting 4 tires on and filling the car up with gas in, like, I don't know, 20 seconds, under 20 seconds. They've gotten faster now, I'm sure, but under 5 to get 4 tires, that's wild. Are they putting gas in it too?
Well, NASCAR just went to that single hub deal like the rest of the cars, so I don't think they're doing the lug nuts anymore on NASCAR.
Oh, geez, that's how far behind I am. John, when's the last time you watched a race?
When I was working at Old Chicago and it was on in the background. It said, "Hey, can you turn it up?" And I was like, "I can make the noises for you."
Right.
Yeah. No, we're gonna go with the college basketball today. Sorry.
Yeah, what do we got lined up today? We were looking at the games before. Chris put together a 19-leg can't lose parlay that's going to redesign this whole studio.
$10 to win 30.
Can't lose.
$10 to win 19 or 33,000. I went and just took the money line all the way. Everybody that was minus 1,000 is in that parlay. If all the favorites win, I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's hope that plays out.
What I learned is that when you're betting the favorites, you have to add a lot of teams to make it plus money.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Got to add.
I tell you what, it's harder and harder to look at the schedule. I was looking at the ESPN app, and they're just commingling men's and women's. I'm like, when has Penn State been ranked? Well, that's women's. Okay. Nothing against women's college basketball. That's its own thing, but you can't start commingling, and we don't need to take it that far. I mean, it's okay to have a men's scoreboard and a women's scoreboard these days.
That is all right. Yeah, I get frustrated when I see a great matchup on the guide and and I turn it on and it's, the Xavier ladies versus the Lady Huskies. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm sure this is a great matchup as well. I'm just not familiar with the athletes on the floor. The Dollar Bet Club got some sweet action going for the college basketball today.
I'm thinking of putting money on Illinois plus 7.5. So they've been playing pretty well this week. They kind of they almost let one squeak away, but they've been playing well. And the Purdue team that I bet to win it all at plus 1,800, man, they are streaky in the sense that you don't know which team's going to show up. They're still an amazing team, but I don't know. Illinois has been flying around, and Purdue is hit or miss. So I might see if they can't cover the spread on that one.
That kid who pounds 6 monsters a day has got to be back too. That's an advantage.
Yeah, he's a teardrop from 3.
Everything's slow motion for him at that point.
So, hey, look, I've got a quick question for you guys on this Dollar Bet Club. How does that thing work? Like,
you just don't get divorced.
So that's the top.
Yeah. Well, the main thing is in all sincerity, I'm not huge on betting over the last couple of years. I've bet on golf a little bit just for the fun of a 4-day bet, but in general, I'm not necessarily any sort of sharp better. So I figured I'd start out small, no unit shaming, and just put a dollar on until I got my feet wet, my beak wet, and then we'll take it from there.
Right. All right. So then I should be starting out at like the 50-cent club then.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine too.
Yep. We could have some rip some maybe 7 seconds of in the club.
Right. Twitter poll today: who's better, Eminem or 50 Cent?
Ooh.
Yep, that'll be about a 50-50 poll. John Jones last night. I had $5 American on John Jones by submission plus 500, so that was nice. None of my guillotine choke specific bets came home, so it must have been a different kind of submission.
I looked at that today, and I thought he did, but maybe not. Good for you on the win, though.
Evidently not. Valentina Shevchenko, is that how you say it? She lost to some chick named Alexa Grasso. I've never heard of her before, but evidently she's good at the fighting. Valentino she's badass. She basically never loses, and I don't know who this Grasso chick is, but may have to worry about betting on Valentino automatically anymore.
So this is per ESPN. Jones defeated Cyril. You said Gain? I'm not a fighter guy. With guillotine choke.
In what round?
First.
Oh, yeah. I had third, fourth, and fifth. I didn't.
Oh.
The first round?
Yeah. Got him.
20 seconds?
Yeah. 2 minutes, 4 seconds, first round. Wow.
It's like he never left. Man, imagine the career.
Gosh, what did he put on, like 40 pounds too? Yikes.
Yeah, I saw him walking into the arena and I was like, oh, he looks, not in excellent shape. He didn't look like he was bouncing around ready to kill somebody. It's like, I'm not sure about this, but evidently.
Well, when you had 20% body weight, it's not like you're going to be, light on your feet. Just ask Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
Big head. That dude's got a huge head.
So were you plus money on? Did you win overall?
Yes, plus 500.
Nice.
I put 50 on the submission.
Ooh, nice.
And I had a couple of $5 that were on like a couple like parlays, like submission by guillotine in the third round, blah, blah, blah. I thought he'd come out a little bit rusty. He was not rusty.
Yeah.
Once that dude grabbed a hold of him, I was like, what are you doing? And then it was over.
Why would you do that?
Like the other guy that grabbed a hold of Bo Nickel. Don't grab a hold of Bo Nickel. You want to stand up and stay away. Swing.
Yeah.
Don't go to the ground with these
It's
guys.
like a cornered rat.
Yeah. Yeah.
With any luck, the judge will think you did a good job. But if you go to the ground with these dudes, you're done.
You want to bob and weave. Bob and weave. Do not let them get your legs.
Bob and weave, stick and move.
Yes.
It's just more of an answer to, should you get in a street fight with a stranger? If you know that there's certain people you just can't grab, then you probably shouldn't be fighting people in general.
So that's pretty funny that you say that, John, because sometimes I go down the YouTube short, Facebook short kind of rabbit hole of fights, and it's always the little wrestler that just gets all squirrely. Like the big dude that comes up to him and the little guy turns around and is like, fuck you, that's not the guy that you want to break away.
Yeah.
Like
I kind of learned that at an early age too, because my dad he went to state and wrestling in Illinois, and he's a very mild-mannered guy. But I think at a certain point when you're a boy, you test the old man a little bit. And, a couple rabbit punches in the ribs, just playing around, and it's like, what's the old man still got? And the next thing you know, you're just flipped over, and he's laughing like, this is what you think you can take.
That's my son.
Just tap out. Yeah,
that's my son. He thinks he's the big dog around campus now.
Yeah, and let me tell you, our relationship is better after that.
It is. It does absolutely improve the relationship.
Yeah.
Angela's here. Good morning. Is it cold where you are? I like the beanie. It's a nice look.
I'm always wearing these things because I'm inherently have a low body temperature. I'm close to a reptile, is what a person can be.
Well, the beanie and the tee is a classic emo look from 2001. So,
yep.
That's right.
Skipped here right on time. Top of the morning, Pops. I'm just gonna call him Pops now. I hope that's all right.
I like that. That sounds good. We're all
Yeah.
family, right?
It's a little bit my dad too.
I've been calling him Pops for like 46 years.
It sounds better when you say it. It's more authentic.
I gotta know.
Yeah.
We
probably
can
'cause
tell,
it's
like
true.
you feel that.
Yeah.
Can feel the vibe.
So this
I feel
F1, as I mentioned, Jamal's our guy at Patriot Sports. He's already got an article up on patriotsportsnow.com and everything. So all that's left now is to learn some stuff about F1.
I'm gonna try to be that guy.
So
I'm
they're
really-
in Bahrain today. I don't even know what country that's in.
I was
What-
watching
is
it this
Bahrain a
morning.
country
I
itself?
was watching it.
Yeah, Bahrain's a country by itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said India. I said India.
We have so much to learn. This is gonna be great.
Bahrain.
Oh my gosh.
That's
See?
like
Well,
Here at
the
Patriot
race-
Sports,
northern.
yeah, the race
you talk
just
about
ended.
betting,
So
and you can get a geography lesson. It's kind of like,
yeah.
great.
Yeah. All the
Was
races ended?
Verstappen? Did Verstappen win? I saw he was.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think I posted the other day, like, the most of my commentary is going to be Verstappen wins again. Now let's take a look at everybody else. That's
Right.
that's what it's going to be probably the whole season. So,
That's wild.
but
Is
yeah,
Is that just generally like how F1 tends to be? Because there's always seems to be one or two dominant drivers.
well, it's so here's the thing with me. Like, so for the past 8 years before last year, it was Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton. Every year, Mercedes. So finally, they changed the rules, they changed the car, and now it's Verstappen and Red Bull. And so everybody else is trying to catch up. And, you know, to me, Verstappen is a good enough driver. Like, he drives his car flat out. And I mean, he just does it so much better than the other drivers. It's just he didn't have the car to do it. Now he has the car. So that's just my opinion on everything or whatever. But yeah, it's changed. You know, it's changed in the last couple of years. The competition is definitely better. The races are better since, last year up to this year so far.
How long is this season? The F1 season. They can basically go to any, they go to multiple climates, so I guess they can race in the wintertime too.
Yeah, I think they're now that they're back on the full race schedule, I think it's 23 races that they do. I think it's 23 races.
Just added a race in Vegas. That's going to be wild on the strip.
Right. So
Miami, we should go.
Miami was added last year. Vegas was added this year. They had the Texas track, and I think that's it for the United States.
They get going. I know the Indy cars get going so fast on those tracks like Texas, Atlanta, Joliet that they can black out in the corners. They almost have to limit how fast the cars can go.
Just ripping 5Gs around the corners.
We're getting
we're
getting to the line of what's even doable.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to drive one of those things real. Like, I mean, I do sim racing, but you can't, of course you can't get the same experience. But I mean, I've got the wheel and all of that with the force feedback. That stuff, gets you as close to driving one of these cars as as anything, without getting the rig that has the hydraulics and all of that stuff on there.
Oh yeah, that's what they used to train, I assume, like an actual simulator with hydraulics. Jonah's here.
Heck
Will's here. I think I saw Will say what's up too. All the regulars are showing up. There he is.
Morning, guys.
Good morning.
GameOn.locals.com.
This is turning into Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So I have to say something about racing. So, I mean, I was watching this morning some coverage, and I don't remember who it was who ended up going into the pits. And I mean, obviously when they change their tires and their pitting is like 1 second, right? 1 second long. Anyways, I can't remember who it was who came in, and they were like, oh, they don't know what's wrong with the car. They're going to change the steering wheel. Oh, something's wrong. And we were commenting like, oh, it might be just a switch is broke. It was like something electrical, something like how things have changed from like way back in the day when race cars would race and you would go through a pit stop and there was like mechanical stuff, and now it's like electrical and like computer board shit. It's totally different now.
Well, the crazy thing about F1 is they've got engineers like back in their manufacturer facilities, like getting real live telemetry data, and I mean they can tell if the air pressure in the tire loses a half of psi from like around the world, and they relay that information back to the guys on the box and stuff, you know. The engineers can tell them to flip a switch on the steering wheel. You see all the buttons and knobs and stuff on the steering wheel, like in game. Yeah, pretty much. Like in the game, you have to program each one of those buttons. And so I can just imagine what it's really like, you know, to have to go through all of that.
Well, it used to be you could be a computer geek and you get a job at a computer company. And now you're a computer geek, you get a job at a race team. You're like,
you can get screamed at by Max Verstappen.
Yeah, right. or laid regularly, maybe.
So those buttons all are in-game air pressure, so you can have in-game adjustments, so you can adjust on the fly.
Yeah, you can. Like once, so according to like the regulations and stuff, after you qualify, you can't make any changes to the car, anything like that. And so, like even in the game, the only things that you can change is like your wing, you know, your brake.
But is all that's being changed by those levers? If you need some down, you need push down, push up,
down force.
Yeah.
All of that stuff is.
When you go through, like when a race is over, or so when a contest is over, an athlete gets tested, or they like test them for cheats, like cheat drugs and stuff. So can they go through the computer records on what was done?
Yeah, they go through the car.
Race? Oh my god,
the car.
Yeah, they inspect the whole car, weigh everything.
Yeah,
and that's so cool.
They were even doing that back in the day when Darrell Walter come down in the number 17 Todd Chevrolet and get 2 rounds of wedge taken out.
I was wondering more about like the computer steps of what went on or didn't happen. Like if there's a readout for that. If they
I'm sure
did it anyway.
I'm sure they have one. But they even test the fuel. Like the fuel has to be a certain ratio of this and that, all of that for the race and all of that. So
man. You can't have any of that Barry Bonds juice in your gas.
No. Do they have like you know how like at horse races in the stable, they have one guy who sits in the stable with the horse so nobody screws with their horse. Do they have people in pit crews who make sure that people don't mess with their shit?
I'm sure they do.
With stuff?
I'm sure they do. Once you get inside the compound, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's too bad Ring or somebody doesn't sponsor us. I'd do a whole ad for them right now, but we don't know. I haven't seen the check yet, so I'm sure they have some kind of surveillance system there, though.
Right.
So what's the next one? We have Bahrain this week. Do they race weekly, or do they got to travel to fucking Argentina now? And 2 weeks.
You said it like it's a bad thing.
Totally. Really tan, half-naked people.
Where are they going next?
Excellent.
So I mean, I've signed up for the paid version, the premium F1 app, so I can make sure that I'm down with all of the latest and greatest information as it happens.
As it happens.
It's a tax write-off for PSR, I think.
Is that right?
Sweet.
Hopefully.
Why is... Oh, yeah. Bryce Young ain't going to throw today. That's why he's in a hoodie. Well, CJ Stroud is out there whipping footballs like a guy who wants to be a professional.
Gosh, I wanted to say, Richard. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
The next race is in Saudi Arabia, by the way.
Oh.
Ooh, okay.
They flew the planes just saying.
We talking about Saudi Arabia? Or
that racetrack looks like
Live
a
Golf.
handful.
Hey, sponsored by Live Golf.
Live Golf. Maybe a little Live Riyadh GT crossover. You know, get I was gonna say Phil Hellmuth. Get Phil Mickelson out there. Get Phil Mickelson out there in an F1 car. See how he does with that. Can't be much worse.
Phil Hellmuth would get all the currency donations or denominations wrong. Wait, what? No, you were talking about the draft. And I wanted to be out on Richardson, and then I looked at just his stats and everything, and the way he's just throwing the ball. What was he throwing? An average 59 miles an hour. It's pretty insane. He is a beast. I mean, he ran like a 4.59 or something like that. It's freakish. I wanted to be out on him, and then I saw that. I was like, well, geez, you got to be pretty bad at football to not make an impact when you've got that size and talent.
Those raw talents, yeah. I mean, he was, I believe, 100-1 to go number one. It sounds like after the combine, there will be all kinds of steam, as they say, pushing him up the board. All these GMs will be freaking out. Do we really want to pass on the next Lamar Jackson? We'll get roasted on the social media forever.
Well, or he could be the next. Who's the LSU guy who could throw 50 yards from his knees?
Jamarcus Russell.
He could also be the next Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah. I like Will Levis, but then I learned he puts mayo in his coffee. I don't know how to process or rectify that.
That's like something you do when you're homeschooled. Like your mom taught you when you were homeschooled.
Yeah.
Weird stuff.
Weird. Yeah. I'm like trying to think of why. Like, there's better ways to get fat in your coffee. Like, I don't know that.
Like creamer. They have creamer. My daughter loves
Squeeze
Nutella.
The cow nipple right there.
Spread. She puts it on everything. So I was thinking maybe I could I like hazelnut coffee. Why don't I just put a scoop of that shit in my coffee? I'm going to try that tomorrow. I bet it's going to be good.
You have to let me know if that melts up, because that would be glorious.
Some hazelnut cream cheese.
That might not be the worst thing I've ever heard.
Nutella cream cheese. Mix them together.
Right.
Interesting.
Oh, we just. I
bagel.
think we were onto something. You just sent that out to the masses.
Yep.
Right.
Keep that stuff private, you guys. We probably could have got rich off of that one. Shit.
I'll put it in the food Discord channel. I think we got some kind of food channel.
In the foodie, put it in the foodie channel.
Yep. I'm learning. Heather told me that people have other interests, so I should put other interests besides sports in there. She's right.
Oh.
Human beings are multifaceted creatures.
That'll probably get interesting real fast.
Yeah. Speaking of the Discord, I put a couple hockey picks in the Discord yesterday. Red Wings first period ended 0-0, so we got our $5 back. Lightning at Sabres over 7 we took, plus 115. That ended 5-3. Last I checked, 5 plus 3 is more than 7. And then the Canucks beat the Maple Leafs 4-1, plus 180. I just looked up last 10 games, Toronto at Vancouver, and they'd only won twice in the last 10 trips to Vancouver. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. The Canucks are a bad team, but Canucks, Blue Jackets, like Coyotes, it seems like these bad teams win on Saturdays for some reason. I think maybe because teams play backup goalies more often on Saturdays and Sundays, or it's home games. I don't know. But I'm going to approach football the way I approach hockey and just look at numbers, because I think I get way too much football information in my brain. It clouds me up and I go 4-10.
So like, you're considering the factors that you think you shouldn't consider, like the weather where they're playing, like, or
I think I listen to too many people talk about football during the week and it warps all of my opinions. I'm probably the smartest guy in the room, and I'm just letting my knowledge become diluted. That's
probably right.
Yep.
I think you can be an overeducated better, because then you think you know, and then you think you have an edge, and you don't go with your gut feel.
Yep.
Always go with the gut.
Always go with the gut.
It's not a bad strategy.
Yeah, my deposit just posted from Alonzo making it on podium.
Nice.
Love it. Yes.
Alonzo.
I'm $3 off my original deposit.
All right. Back to neutral.
Back to neutral. I love it. With no betting classes. With no betting classes yet. I'm still waiting on that 101.
We're gonna do one. We're gonna be doing today.
Do you have any hockey picks today?
I haven't looked at the hockey this morning. Usually Sundays are pretty down day. I think the NBA gets Sunday. It seems like NHL and NBA have worked out a deal where like the NBA gets Wednesday and then NHL gets Thursday. Seems like they're better matchups on certain days of the week.
We have to see how the golf does. Who did you guys pick for the Arnie Palmer? I forgot.
The golf picks are looking quite promising. Smitty's especially. I'll pull up the.
Do you guys bet on the senior tour too, or no?
No.
I was just wondering. I mean, you guys bet on everything, so I take offense to that.
So take offense to that.
What about when Tiger makes the senior tour? You're gonna bet that?
I'm sure.
Okay.
There's no way. If Tiger's playing golf, Adam's betting on Tiger. That's just how it works.
We used to bet on the senior tour, but then we saw what like they're doing to Feinstein and Biden, and we're like, that is cruelty to old people, and we're not going to do it. And we don't stand for that here at Patriot Sports Radio.
Oh my
so we immediately stopped betting the senior tour at that
What do you
point
mean?
when we saw what it looked like.
What are you
I was
saying? You can't
watching-
co-sponsor a bill from a hospital bed?
I don't,
Bro,
No,
Feinstein has
with
been in
that.
the office 2 times as long as I've been alive.
The senior tour is sponsored by Cologuard, and that's all you need to know about.
I don't even know what that is.
Is
I
it like
think it's like
Mucilex?
Is that like
colon
Life
cancer.
Alert? Oh,
I think it's like a at-home colon cancer thing, or
Oh,
like some
man.
kind of a, I don't know,
Is that
Remember
one
that
you're
Phil
supposed to send in
Hartman-
the sample?
colon blow.
colon blow. Yeah,
Oh,
you'd have to eat
Man.
5,000 bowls of your
Yeah.
regulars
All the bulls pile up behind them.
to equal one bowl of colon blow.
Oh, SNL, you messed up.
All right,
It
so
looks so funny.
back to golf. The if I recall,
Ring
If
this
I
thing back
recall,
in, boys and girls.
our betting advisors on the golf were basically bet the top 3. So,
Yep.
I went ahead and did that. John Rahm's out. I put Cameron Young at plus 300 for top 5, but my Scotty Scheffler to win it is looking pretty good.
Yep, Scotty. I was reading on the interwebs that people anticipate Scotty making a run today. Kurt Kitayama, currently the leader, or was last night, was available for plus 650. So I said, well, that seems like a trap. Let me jump in that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Then I also
yeah.
took JT and Spieth because Smitty thinks because of how they played yesterday, they'll be paired together today, and
Yep.
then they'll just
Battle it
push
out.
each other. Yeah, I watched that episode of Full Swing about those two. I didn't realize the friendship went back to 13 years old. They've been
Isn't that
battling
cool?
against each other.
I
Yeah,
love
if you-
those shows. They give you the
That's a good
insider
long time.
scoops.
Yeah, that's how Formula One exploded. Is they had the Netflix
Drive to Survive.
documentary, and the popularity exploded because people actually can understand what's going on with those people because they're pretty faceless, with helmets and driving the cars.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
a
The
good
story.
point.
So some of the storylines are real intriguing
Yeah,
if you get into it.
Bet.
I think
All
they
that
do.
money.
I think some of that is like pure entertainment value, But you still have everybody hobnobbing in Monaco, like everybody's from Monaco,
yeah. It is
So,
not exactly a middle class sport.
right.
I was gonna say
Exactly right.
Not the most inclusive activity, F1 racing.
everyone's walking around drinking champagne and
Right. Champagne.
gambling, right?
Yeah.
Then
High stakes.
gambling on the next yacht race
Right.
Yeah.
or boat
Yeah.
race.
So,
What it's sailing.
so I think that there's 2 weeks before the next race. So I think the next time I come back, I should have probably betting picks and stuff for drivers. Should I have all of that ready to go, or is anybody interested in making money on F1 like I did today?
If I know who's going to win a cricket match, I bet on it. A winner is a winner is a winner.
A winner is a winner is a winner. All right,
And
I'm
here's-
gonna post my bet slip in a few. Once
I know a dude named Jong who posts tennis bets at like 2 a.m. and that dude knows his stuff.
Is that right?
And I'm like, hey, I don't know who these people are, but I will take that bet.
Right.
Whatever makes the balance bigger than it was before. I was thinking about putting a couple bucks on the XFL last night, but then I turned it on and watched a little bit, and it's just it looked like a high school game. There's a couple thousand people there, maybe. It looked like
Yeah.
UW Whitewater versus St. Peter's.
No
Right.
offense,
something.
Whitewater.
If St. Peter's has UW Whitewater multiple time Division III champs. So I should
Right.
actually
Right.
pick a different scrubby team. But it was just the one thing I did like is they're mic'd up and the guy on the mute button is pretty slow. We got a
They-
motherfucker last night or a something motherfucking something. I was like, all right, I'll watch 5 more minutes.
I like that. I turned it on for a little bit, and I heard "Make up your goddamn mind."
It's awesome. It's like therapy for me to like listen to other people freaking out.
Yeah.
I wish the
Hey,
NFL would.
XFL players, they're just like
Well,
us.
Who was the
Right.
quarterback? I think The Rock was on. What was he on? Was he on Twitter the other day or something? Praising one of the quarterbacks he turned down less money to play somewhere else to come play in the XFL.
Yeah.
AJ
and all of
McCarron,
that.
I
think that's what it was.
maybe. I think
Spend
Ben
Spend time with the
DiNucci. was-
kids. Let them
Yeah.
watch him win.
Yeah, that's right. That's what
That's feel good stuff.
it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So-
you're just going to travel with the team and sit on the bench in the NFL.
Right.
Hey,
You'll get good seats to a football game, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
Does my
That's
dad
it.
play in the NFL? No, he actually sits on the bench.
Yeah.
He's there, but you know,
he was a
We-
player. He didn't play. He was a
Right.
player.
Yeah. He was technically on a roster. Not like
Right.
Ben DiNucci out there spinning it. Saw Josh Gordon catch the game-winning touchdown. So that's where XFL is at. Josh Gordon, game winner, 62 yards, 65 yards, something like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
God forbid they drug test.
I don't think the
That should be
XFL
their motto. We don't drug test.
you can be
Background-
you from
background
start to
checks.
finish.
We've got a 6 foot, 270 pound running back, full muscle. We ain't drug testing.
Oh
the
man,
XFL, come as you are.
Come as you are.
Yep.
Balloon up.
We don't
So
test
funny.
anybody here at the
But-
San Diego Merrimans. Just play as is.
oh my goodness, I'm just laughing
God.
inside.
Josh Gordon plays for the Seattle Sea Dragons. Sea Dragon is a real thing. I looked it up. It's kind of like a seahorse, but it looks like it has wings. I don't know how intimidating that is, but man, what
How
could have
big
been
is
with Josh Gordon? That kid was so good at football. He came in and played the Packers after like not playing for a year and a half and put a couple touchdowns on us. I believe I lost my fantasy football championship because of that. But what are you gonna do? I remember that. I remember that exactly. It was breakfast with Santa. I was sitting there trying to put on a happy face while my daughter's meeting Santa, just getting crushed in my fantasy football championship round.
Smiling through gritted teeth.
We need to. You know what? This is a movie in the making, too. I might add. We're gonna get on that. I'm getting on that. Oh my God.
If you care, today the St. Louis Battlehawks are playing the DC Defenders. The Orlando Guardians are playing the Arlington Renegades. I got the under in that game. XFL Jim told me to take it. That's all I need to know. Guy's name's XFL Jim. San Antonio Brahmas at Houston Roughnecks. Wade Phillips coaching the Houston Roughnecks. I just take the Roughnecks. That's what I do.
Wade Phillips, defensive guy. Wade Phillips.
Yeah. Plus, these guys work on oil rigs when they're not playing football. That's what I want.
We're basically watching the replacements.
The replacements.
Right.
Man.
Oh
I mean,
my God.
what's tougher, crab boat or oil rig?
Or
Because
oil-
I see those dudes grabbing giant, I don't know, drill bits, I guess, and cranking.
Yeah.
So you have 27 different opportunities to lose a finger in everything they do.
Yeah.
Besides getting knocked out and dying.
And they probably show up hungover as shit on 4 hours of sleep and just pumping
Get it.
oil out of the earth.
And get it.
What were
done.
those?
Crazy.
What was
Hey,
the
get-
XFL bets?
I have the Roughnecks money line parlayed with the under in the Arlington Orlando game. I hopped on XFL Jim's live watch along of the Sea Dragons game last night and I said, Jim, I need a parlay. We're obviously taking the Roughnecks, but what else? He was really powering through. He was caught Jim under the weather, powered through a live stream last night. That guy loves XFL. Like like few people love sports.
Somebody's got to do it, right?
We got a
Some-
kid named Tanner McKee throwing from Stanford right now. I don't see him getting drafted. Not a lot of Tanners in the
No.
NFL. You're gonna have a time. Not a lot of Prestons or Sterlings or
No, they're all
Tanners.
playing lacrosse at Duke.
Right.
Boy, haven't they turned into a scrub NBA basketball? I mean, NCAA team.
Little weird. Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina. None
Yeah,
of them
man.
really great teams this year.
Man, my Tar Heels are probably the biggest embarrassment of
Yeah.
all the Tar Heel teams ever.
The curse
To
of that
fail.
SI cover. Oh my gosh.
Man,
That'll live in infamy.
yeah,
Didn't do him any favors.
it did not do them any favors at all.
Oh, they were on the cover before the season. Like, look at this amazing team. Look at all these young players they have. Imagine what's possible.
Yeah,
And then
one of those things.
It was one of those where it's like, is this a repeat of, what was that, 30 years ago? They had one of the best teams. And they did like a side by side, and they're basically crowning them the champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna get in.
Look away! Look away!
Yep,
Yeah.
that never happened.
Look, the first game of the season that I actually watched, I think they were probably 2-3 or something like that. 2-0, 3-0. I said, oh, hey, these guys look pretty good. The next time I look back, they were like 13 and 15. It's like, what the fuck is going on with my Tar Heels, man? So, yeah, it's horrible this year.
Well, they beat Duke, so this is
Yeah.
a weird Duke team. Didn't lose at home, but yet they're not that good.
Yeah.
Doesn't really. I guess the ACC is pretty down, but
Yeah.
Lori's here. Hi, Lori. Good morning.
Top of the morning, Lori. Looking at the
How you doing?
schedule of events. Trying to find some information on the combine. The internet's not providing a ton. I'm seeing a lot of interviews, a lot of guys at the podium. I guess they can't ask their weird questions anymore, so that's the only opportunity they have. I know a wide receiver from Florida was at the podium answering questions, and they just asked him a bunch of questions about Anthony Richardson. And he stood there like a pro and answered them with a smile on his face and a positive attitude. So I think that'll go far. Teams will be like, hey, this kid's all right. He knows how to handle himself. Even when the reporters are pissing him off.
Wow.
yeah. I feel like the combine is playing second fiddle. I feel like in the years past, it's been more of a prominent thing, but it's kind of on the back burner, just on the NFL Network. You know, those guys, you really earn your stripes if you have to comment on the NFL Combine. They come up with so many turns of phrases with scores and race number, like just 40 times, stuff like that. It's just like, that's got to be a grueling assignment. Was that Rich Eisen? Just imagine just talking about guys running around all day without any quote unquote plays. It'd be difficult.
Would you rather watch the Pro Bowl thing or the combine thing?
Oh man,
Pro Bowl, because the combine is all day and it's everybody doing the exact same thing at different levels of
over and over and over again.
What if they sent the combine to like Benny Hill music or something like that? Then would you watch?
Yeah.
They made it more theatrical.
Yeah.
I found an article about the draft terms, so you know what they're talking about. Things like boom or bust. That's a player who's either going to be really good or really bad. A can't miss prospect is a guy the experts think will be a star and has approximately 0 chances of sucking. Let's see. What are some of the tougher ones here?
We should post this on the socials. I said we should post these on the socials. We should type these up and post them. Okay, sorry, keep going.
Fluid hips is a guy that can
Describe.
turn from front to back and vice versa very quickly. Football IQ, we know what that is. Football
Fluid.
player, do we need to define that? Oh, it was popularized by John Gruden. Apparently signifies a guy that loves the game. Guy's a football player. I think John Madden said football player like that before John Gruden did. Let's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably so.
High motor's another one. I think people just throw it around when they don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I was hoping this article would have high motor, road grader, shit like that. I don't see it.
We'll have to add those to the list for honorable mentions.
These are all the standard ones. Yeah. High character guy. That's a guy who's not going to beat someone senseless in a Las Vegas because we know in front of 4 cameras.
We're
And
carrying
brag
him
about
on
it in
the
the
team
limo.
airplane.
And then plead not guilty.
Then plead not guilty. Buddy, we got you on tape saying, quote, I connected with his jaw so good, man. End quote.
Did you see that?
Like, did you just hear Eddie Murphy? It wasn't me.
Wouldn't me?
I saw you. It wasn't me.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you know, Richardson's getting a lot of press because I don't know. I feel like they're really shoving Richardson up the draft boards. But CJ Stroud is like right stride with him. He's not. I mean, he's normal tall. He's not
I was gonna say
6'4".
he's the short guy at 5'10".
No, that's from Alabama. This guy Stroud's like 6'2", 6'3", or something like that.
Okay.
They stand next to each
man.
other. They look the same, and they both have cannons. They're saying Stroud's probably the can't miss. If
So
we're using their terminology.
speaking of 6'2", 6'3", right? Yesterday I get off work. I'm on my way. I stop in. I pull in at Bojangles.
Okay.
And I get this nice, sweet, calm female voice at the speaker, right? All right. So I pull up to the window, 6'2", 6'3", black dude, like looks like a damn lineman or a defensive player. Like, how do you sound like that? I
Built
wanted
like
to
a
ask
brick
him.
shit house.
Like who's that singer? What's his name? Oh my gosh.
Seal,
Oh,
No.
John Lennon, Elton John, John Fogerty,
I don't know.
Tony,
but
Tony.
this guy,
No.
he
Bill
was
Bellamy?
huge.
He's the big black guy. What's his name? He's super
The guy from
famous.
American Idol.
No, I can't remember his name. Shit, this would bother me so bad.
Seal again.
Fine
Ruben
now.
Studdard.
Ruben Studdard. That's
No.
the one I was
Well,
thinking of.
he was real soft spoken, but this
Yeah.
was like totally like female voice. Like
Like
I don't
Michael
know.
Jackson voice.
It was even softer and sweeter than that.
Aaron
Anthony
Neville.
Richardson.
Aaron
Aaron
Neville.
Big guy with the high voice.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
Keith
it
Sweat was going to be
happens.
my next guest.
right.
Oh, he was going to be your next guest.
Yep,
Guess.
D'Angelo. Speaking of cut up dudes with tattoos, Anthony Richardson just ran a 4.4340.
Gosh, that's what it was. Yeah.
That's fast.
Goodness.
I just pulled a hammy thinking about that.
Right?
They were showing some of his plays at Florida Dance Around the Pocket, and oh my gosh, he is elusive.
Yep. People are going to put on Justin Fields highlights and say, this is that, but taller. Let's get him.
Thanks.
That's how I
Same thing with
decided.
Stroud, same school too.
I decided to not play baseball anymore in my older age, like beer league or church league or whatever. I pulled a hamstring running from first to second. I'm like, I'm done. We're hanging him up now.
She pulled up when she was getting around first.
Like, what happened? I'm like, I'm
Flat
old and
tire.
fat. That's what
What this means?
He had a flat tire going around the corner.
Taken away on the street, giving the thumbs up.
Yeah.
But I will take this opportunity to go get a massage and get my leg and ass rubbed. That would be great.
Right.
Get one of them Theraguns on it.
I did
Yeah.
that racing my baby boy in the front yard one day. I'm faster than you, Dad. No, you're not. Yes, I am. Yeah, you are.
That's great.
Oh. Adam's in the Discord saying Kirk Kitayama still getting plus money before he tees off. The dude is a grinder, probably worth a few shillings. I think I'm about to put $5 more on
Yeah,
him. Why
I think
not?
Dollar Bet Club's gonna jump on that one.
Oh man,
Gotta do it.
Kitayama. The only thing left on the list is baseball.
I
and
feel
don't have a
ill
whole lot
prepared for
base-
this broadcast. Next time I'm bringing a pen and pencil, paper, writing down all of this stuff.
Oh, don't even bother. This show is like it's a tree with many branches.
Right,
You write your notes here, and we'll end up over here.
right. I got you.
Yup.
It's all right. It's an
Did
honor
you
and a
think we
privilege.
were talking about hamstrings this morning?
You never know. You never know what body part's going to be on the list.
Yeah, I'm gonna be talking about some ham after this broadcast. I'm going to get something to eat.
Well, if Heather was here, we'd be talking about breakfast. I know she was making
Yep.
waffles this morning. I saw it on the Twitter.
Lori's here. So, the wave. Like the simple wave.
We'll have to get Heather to post her pictures of breakfast, since she will be post breakfast at this time every day.
Yep. We have a channel for that. Well, what else we got? Is there anything else pressing that anyone wants to discuss?
Mhm.
I read
Well,
they're making
we-
the Ghost Runner permanent. That upsets me.
Oh, dang.
I was thinking, what do you like for college basketball futures before we get into the heat of it? What's some value? I was looking at it. Let's see, futures favorites: Houston plus 600, Kansas is plus 800, Alabama plus 800, UCLA plus 1,000, Purdue 1,200, UConn 1,600. We're talking winner. I've already got money on Purdue. I don't know. I don't feel like I can bet Alabama. I feel like that's
Marquette's going all
sticky
the way.
wicket. What's that?
You're a Marquette fan?
Marquette's going all the way. I'm not a
They've-
Marquette's fan, but I've watched them play a little bit.
They were projected to finish 9th in the Big East, and they are the 1 seed.
Marquette. Mark it down. I said it here first.
All right, Dollar Bet Club's doing it. Coach is currently on probation, but he's about to come off double secret probation.
Double secret probation.
Yeah, I don't feel – I think I have a moral objection to betting on Alabama, but Kansas just lost right yesterday. Houston's a wagon. They're just good. Yeah, we'll see.
The whole thing gets to be so crazy exciting.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Yeah. We lose Eric. He's frozen in time.
Unless he's practicing his Hall of Presidents wax mold.
He might be on that. What's that
now he's just flat out gone.
What's
So
that?
the part where this gets interesting is we can't end the broadcast until they come back.
So we're still hosting the show. Oh my goodness.
So that's kind of funny. I think. Yeah, I don't know. I think that Eric was saying they're going to keep the Ghost Runner thing. How do you guys feel about the pitch clock? I know
It's good.
You like it?
The ongoing statement about the MLB being too slow is true, even though the time of play in general is the same as an NFL game. There's just no action. They talk about action per minute. And why does it need to be so slow? We just need to pick up the pace a little bit, and I think we're good.
Yeah.
We just got a text from Eric saying you guys can wrap it up. I think we can just
Well, we can, but we can't.
we can do the Irish exit. I think we lost some audio quality on Jay.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I had a problem with the pitch clock. I don't know. I guess as everybody gets more used to it, I'll probably settle into being okay with it. It's just weird to me watching that stuff happen and how frustrated everybody's getting. And to me, I could watch baseball for hours on end, so I don't care. But there's a lot of unnecessary, crotch combobulating and belt this and the whole for the batters in general. But a pitch clock, I don't know.
So why has it taken them this long to get to that? Aren't they already doing that in the minor leagues or whatever?
Yeah, college.
Because the baseball writers of America, who are the biggest dorks in all of sports, are just like, you can't change baseball. It's a numbers league, and you need comparability and all that. It's just no one cares about stats going back to 1950 anymore. Things are just different. So I think it's definitely time for them to change some of these rules to be more appealing, because it's totally a regional sport at this point.
Yeah.
And I couldn't name one player on most of the AL teams at this point too.
Right. And he's back. What's up?
What's up, bro? Yeah, I was like, I don't know if we can actually end the broadcast. Does Chris have to do that? I don't know. We should have that.
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking
about to wrap it. I'm like, well, we could, but we kind of can't.
Yeah. I was just thinking about the talking part. All right.
Wow, the show didn't suck because I was on it.
Does he sound off to you?
Oh, yeah.
Does this microphone sound weird? Oh.
Is it me?
Yep.
It might be this hotel.
Well, 48 minutes. I'm going to call that a show. We hit a lot of sports. I feel good about it. The important thing is we had fun together. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, John and Angela and Jamal, for getting up. Thank you, Lori, Skip, Will, everybody in the comments. We'll see you next Sunday morning. Same bad time, same bad station. Till next time, be good to each other. Chris, kick the outro music.
You've been listening to Patriot Sports Radio. If you're sick of all the national talking heads and biases of mainstream sports media, like we are, this show is for you. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. For more content and merch, hit up www.patriotsportsnow.com. Find us on Twitter at PatriotsPod, on Instagram and Facebook at Patriots Sports Now, and on Getter, Rumble, and YouTube at Patriots Sports. Take care, and we'll see you next time.